You're listening to the Functional Marketing 101 podcast, episode number 3.
Welcome to the Functional Marketing 101 podcast, where it's all about you developing the mindset, belief, and online marketing and sales processes to get your coaching business to 6 figures and beyond. And now your host, functional marketing coach, award-winning author, and a total online marketing geek, Donna Joy Usher.
So in this episode, I want to talk to you about how the online marketing really works, how the online space works, and specifically I want to talk about strategy versus tactics. So welcome. In the last episode, I told you my story, how I got to where I am now, and the lessons I learned along the way. I talked about how it wasn't until I realized that all I was getting sold in courses about online marketing was tactics, when what I really needed was an overall strategy, that I wasn't able to start getting out of the overwhelm that I was experiencing trying to build my business online. In fact, it wasn't until I started working one-on-one with mentors that I was able to get that 30,000 foot view on the strategy that all of the other successful online marketing gurus out there were using. And while the tactics that they are using within this strategy may vary from month to month and from person to person, they are all doing the same thing. They are getting the foundation of their online business in place before they start to scale. And especially before they start to use any sort of paid marketing strategies, they are making sure that they have everything else working first. Have you ever heard people say, oh yes, I tried Facebook ads, they just don't work? Or email marketing doesn't work, I know because I tried. Like when I hear those sorts of statements, I always want to lie down the floor, clutch my sides while I laugh really, really hard. The only thing that amazes me more than them actually saying this is the fact that they never stop to ask themselves the question, what am I doing wrong? Why are all these others having success while I'm not? And what are they doing that I am not? The thing is that things like Facebook ads and email marketing are tactics, and by themselves, without the rest of the foundation, they either don't work or they don't work as efficiently and as effectively as they could. When people try tactics without the supporting strategy, it's because they don't know better, or because they're in a rush to get to the money-making part, which led to them losing it instead. Let's not make that mistake in our business. So today I want to talk to you about the online marketing ecosystem. Now, the first thing that you need to understand is the difference between tactics and strategies. You've heard me using both words, but I want to make sure that you realize the difference. This is important because tactics are going to come and go, but your foundational strategy does not need to change. If you think about your car, it's made up of a lot of different systems that cohesively together are the car. The car and those working systems within it are like your overall strategy. You have the brakes, the fuel system, the accelerator, the radiator. Each of these things have a different function, and without each of them, the car would not work as efficiently, or it would not work at all. They are like your online marketing strategy. Each piece has an important part that it needs to do, but it's only when all the parts are running together that the whole thing works. Now, let's pull one of those pieces out and look at it. Say, let's look at the braking system. When you're building your car, you can choose between drum brakes or disc brakes. So these are like tactics. Which tactic are you going to use to fulfill the purpose of that piece of the strategy? It's the same in our online business. The 4 main working pieces of the strategy as I see it are creating social proof, generating leads, engaging your audience, and sales. So let's go through each of these systems now. When I work with clients, the first thing they start on is the first piece, which is the creating social proof. I mean, you can start doing the other pieces at the same time, but until this first piece is in place, they just won't work as well. So what do I mean by creating social proof? Well, I mean that we are putting together what people are going to see when they research you. If they are thinking of working with you and doing the due diligence, they are going to check you out. Your branding and consistently posting on social media are the main components when you're first starting out in creating this social proof. As you grow, this will become more complex. You might create a website, you might introduce more social media platforms. I think of this as what a stranger will see when they come across you, which is why I call it social proof. We want them to see what you are putting out there, what you stand for, who you help and how you help them. And then we want them to be able to see that you have been showing up for long enough that you're not just a flash in the pan. You want them to feel safe and to trust you. You will be there for the long haul and to give them the help that they need. Most people refer to social proof as reviews, and this is important as well. Talking about how you are helping clients, getting reviews and testimonials and engagement on your posts, it's all a big part of the creating the social proof that you need. This will start small, but if you do this right, it will grow. And the more it grows, the more you will reap the rewards. Taylor Welsh, one of the co-founders of Traffic and Funnels, talks about the synergy being in the recipe. He says it all the time. The synergy is in the recipe. Your strategy is your whole recipe. But the first stage of creating social proof is a very important element of it. Now, perhaps the most important part of all of this is you working out three main things: who you want to help, how you want to help them, and what is the ultimate benefit of them getting this help from you. Once you know all of this, you can confidently create your message to the market and your offer. You need to make sure that who you want to help actually wants your help, and the help you think they need is what they're actually after. You need to spend time with this and dig deep. A lot of people gloss over it and rush straight to paid marketing so they can expand their reach. But until you have this foundational stuff sorted, everything else is just a guess. So once you have all of that worked out, you can turn your attention to the next piece of the strategy: lead generation. Leads are the lifeblood of a business, but you need to make sure that you're creating the right type of lead. You're bringing the right type of person to you. Lead generation is all about calls to action. You are asking people to do something that will ultimately benefit them and help them make a micro step towards solving their problem. But you are asking them to do something that is going to bring them into your world. You've probably heard of lead magnets and funnels, where we craft something they want and then offer it to them in return for the email address. It might be a cheat sheet, a PDF, a webinar, an ebook. So this is where all that research you did when you were creating your social proof, so all the research you do on your avatar, becomes invaluable because you're able to craft exactly what they want and need to bring them to you. But this is not the only way to generate a lead. You can lead them to a Facebook group or directly to your calendar to talk to you. You can ask them to comment on a post or direct message you and then reach out to them organically. Lead generation is really about attracting someone to you who has the problem that you are offering to solve. While lead magnets and funnels are great because you can automate them, you don't need to wait till you have one created to start generating leads. Now, this next part is where a lot of people fall down. They generate the leads, but then they forget to engage them. So how do we engage our audience? Well, continuing to show up on social media and putting yourself in front of them is one of the ways to engage your audience, but the other one is through email. A lot of people think that email marketing is dead, but they've never taken the time to grow an email list large enough and to develop a relationship with those people where they are giving value. Tell Mike Dillard that email marketing is dead and he will laugh in your face. He can send out one email campaign and make 6 figures. Why? Because he has spent decades building his list, developing a relationship with them and giving them value. They know him and they trust him. Now, let's think about the advantages of an email list over relying solely on social media. Well, you own your email list. The big players out there use social media for one strategic purpose. They take the traffic they don't own and they turn it into traffic that they do. You don't own your traffic on social media. You do own your email list. I have spoken to many people who have lost their businesses overnight because they have their Facebook account shut down. And it doesn't always happen because you broke some rule. I spoke to one lady who lost her 6-figure business because someone hacked her account. Her name had changed because she was now married, and when she sent in her proof of ID, they declined it straight away and she lost access to that account. Never assume that this won't happen to you. You need to build a system that is not relying just on social media. Now, the next reason that you need to start building your email list is that with email, you get to choose when people see your stuff and not just the social media gods choosing that. I know what you're thinking, but email open rates are so low. And while this is true, I mean, if you're doing really well, you can maybe get them up to 17%, 20%. At least the delivery to the inbox is high, right? What percent of the people who have liked you on social media ever actually get to see your posts? A lot lower than the delivery rate of an email. If you engage your audience and give them value and make them laugh and be personable, they will want to open your emails. They will look forward to them. I've got one guy that I subscribe to. He's an author teaching authors how to market. I will always read his emails because he's so amusing and engaging. Now, once you have created your email list, you have to email them, you have to engage them. I remember when I first started building my email list as an author, it was so funny. I had all these people that had opted in to get one of my books for free. And then I would see it growing and I would see the numbers increasing, but I wouldn't email them because I was scared that they would unsubscribe. It was like I was like a Gollum with my precious, and it's like my email list was the ring, and I didn't want to engage it in case it went away. But here's the thing. First of all, you need to engage your audience so they can give them value and develop that relationship and rapport with them. But two, if they don't want to get emails from you, they can unsubscribe. And if they unsubscribe, they move off your list and you're paying to have them there. So you need to engage your email list. You need to keep showing up to them on a weekly basis at least. Now, the final piece of your online business's foundational strategy is a sales process. If you're an online coach, you need to do what all the top gurus are doing, and that is not giving away free coaching calls. I know that's what you get taught to do. You get taught to stun people with how amazing your coaching ability is. But you shouldn't start to coach your clients until after they become your client. If you do, you will actually be doing them a total disservice. Now, I didn't learn this until I became a sales coach for a 7-figure earner. So what happens if you coach them on that call, if you get them on and then you listen to them and then you give them coaching on their problems, is that they're going to say no to your program. Good chance they're going to say no to your program. Because secretly are they hoping that all they need to solve the problem is what you've already given them. And we know that that's not it. We coach them a little bit. What they think of their problem is just the tip of that iceberg. And once they clear that first thing, the next one is going to pop up, but they don't know that. We do. If you coach them on a call, rather than allowing them to realize the full extent of the problem so they can see exactly where they need your help, they just take that little bit of coaching and they run with it. Human nature, we want to save money, we want to save ourselves time and energy, we want to save ourselves discomfort. We will always take the easy way out. A good sales call is not salesy at all. It is a journey you take them on where you are giving them the gift of being totally honest with themselves about what the problem is costing them. Then you are offering to help them close the gap between where they are now and where they want to be. Now, sales can also be done by a sales page or like a stack in a webinar. But if you want to build your coaching program and you're giving out your calendar link, you need to get good at sales calls. So there you have it, the 4 pillars of my online marketing business foundation. I hope you can see how this strategy opens itself up to all the different tactics out there being plugged into it. And I hope you now understand the difference between tactics and strategy. Now, if you want to read more about this overall strategy and how each of the pillars work, I have created a Coach's Marketing Playbook that you can download. I'll put the link to go and get it on my podcast resources page, donnajoyusher.com/resources. Now, there is one more crucial element that you personally need to make all of this succeed, but I'm going to talk about that to you in episode number 4 of the Functional Marketing 101 podcast. I look forward to seeing you then. Hey, if you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you have to check out my Facebook group, The Fully Booked Coach. It's a place for coaches wanting to grow their business so they can change the world and create their own dream life in the process. You can find the link to join on my podcast resources page at donnajoyusher.com/resources. I'd love to have you join me, and I look forward to seeing you there soon.